Hey guys, in this quick tutorial I'm going to show you how to install a SCP Secret Laboratory server on a dedicated Linux machine. Um, Before I begin, I want to thank SavvyCun for making a very well detailed guide on how to install it. I will also link this link in the description. Um, and I'm assuming you already have your panel opened up. What you want to do is, if you're connected using SSH, launch PuTTY and log into your server using SSH. And you're also going to want to, for later on, log in using your FTP as well. For now, what you want to do is type in sudo apt install mono-complete. I already have it installed, but it will take you through a short 2 to 3 minute installation. You'll have to accept an agreement and it'll finish installing. I don't have to install it, that's why it was so short. There's nothing here for me to install. It's already up to date. But as soon as that's finished installing, it'll bring you back to here, this line, in which you're going to want to then add a user. So you're going to do sudo add user SCP. Once again, for me, I already have it, so I'm going to do the same thing, but do the number 2 at the end. You're going to want to just do a sudo add user SCP, click enter. It'll ask you for a password. Type in a password you will remember. It's not needed right now. When it comes to this section, just click enter a few times. None of this is important. And click Y for yes. That's finished. Before we log into the SCP user, you're going to want to make sure you have Steam installed on your server. So in order to do that, I believe that's, oh, I have it open up here. Okay. I'll provide the links in the description. Once you're here, you're just going to scroll down and find which operating system you're using, whether it's Ubuntu, Red Hat, or Arch Linux. I am using just base Linux, so I'm going to do user add -m Steam. For me, it already exists. It'll basically just go through the same process as this, creating a new user. Actually, you won't have to go through this process. It'll automatically just create the Steam for you and take you right back here. After that, you're going to do cd/home/Steam. It'll bring you right in once it adds the user. And you're going to go down to this. Well, for me, it's this one. For you, it may be, if you're using Red Hat, it'll be yum. If you're using Arch Linux, it'll be this command right here. I'm using Ubuntu, so I'm going to use this one right here and click enter. For me, it's once again already installed. Now that Steam is finished installing, you don't have to do anything else from there. That's basically it. You can go ahead, close out of that. And now that we're in this page again, now we can log into su space dash space SCP. You're going to just do SCP. I'm going to do SCP-2. And it won't ask you for the password. It should automatically log you in. If it does, just use whatever password that you used up here. Now we're going to install the game using SteamCMD, and lucky enough, there's a preset script already built here. You're going to want to, if you have any Notepad++ or any text editor, you're going to open that up. And you cannot, as it says right here, cannot use anonymous. So you're going to want to use any account. It can be your main, it can be a secondary account. I did happen to type in my temp here, so I'm not going to show that here, but once you type in everything here, you're gonna want to go ahead and copy this. Just make sure you put your username here and your password here. Everything else, leave it the way it is. It's perfectly fine. Doesn't need to be changed. Once you select it all, copy it. Go ahead and close that. You do not need this file anymore. And you're going to want to paste that in here and click enter. It'll go through the installation process as it should. Okay, and once it's fully installed, when it gets to this state, you're going to see 0 through 100%. It's only showing 0 for me because I have not logged into Steam. Now, as soon as that's finished installing, you're going to want to come down to step 4, which is you're going to want to install multi-admin and server mod, which can be found, once again, I'll provide all the links in the description for all these. Once you're over here, you're going to want to jump over to releases. And for server mod, you're going to want to install assembly sharp. Yes, I want to keep that file. And scroll down until you see multi-admin. You're going to want to download that as well. Now this is where we need to be logged into our FileZilla directory. We don't need PuTTY open at the moment. Do keep it open, just that'll be in the background. Now what you're going to want to do is open up downloads, and you'll probably be inside the default directory. Make sure you are in go into home, and there you are. There's SCP. Just jump right in there and go into SCP_server. Drag multiadmin.exe right into the directory here. It won't be there for you. For me it is, so I'm going to overwrite it. If you do need to update, that's as well how you would do that. Next, you're going to want to go into scp_sl_data, and in managed, drag the assembly-c#.dll right in there, and I believe it will ask you to overwrite the one that's currently in there. You'll go ahead and want to do that. From there, you can close out of the download. We don't need that anymore. So now we are going to make the directory for the server. What you can do is you can just copy both of these, highlight, select both, paste it over here, and click enter. Alright, currently there's no file or directory. That's perfectly fine. Do not worry about that. For me, it's saying there's no file at the moment because I didn't actually install the server just yet. But yeah, that's exactly what you're going to want to do, and it'll navigate you right in there. So I'm going to real quickly hop over to my directory. There we go. Okay. And now, since it's been installed, now it's asking me to repair it because I already have access to it. I did notice one thing you will want to do is make sure you go to your SCP user, go to File Attributes, and make sure everything is checked off. Otherwise, later on, you'll get an error. So everything should be checked off. Just make sure these two right here are checked off and click OK. Well, don't click OK just yet. Click recurse into subdirectories and all files and directories, and then click OK. All right, from there, as soon as you finish making that directory, it'll now ask you to finally run the server. If you try to run the server now, it's not going to work. You're probably going to get tons of issues that you won't understand. Or at least I didn't. So what you're going to want to do is in the SCP folder here, this .config file will not be there just yet. You're going to want to right click, create directory and enter it, and type in .config, and it will create this directory. You're going to want to do the same thing for SCP Secret Laboratory because this will not be there either. Then once you create this folder and go ahead inside, you will then see your config, and config backup won't be there just yet. But before we run the server, what you actually want to do is in Steam, go ahead, launch it, launch dedicated server, let it run through its course. All right, and it generated a config right here for you. I noticed for some reason if you use your current config, it won't actually work. You could possibly create, you can go ahead and close it now once it says waiting for players. I'll also paste the code in the description, what you'll want to use, but you'll just right click, create new file, config.txt, go ahead and open it up. And then what you want to do is you want to open the folder and navigate to %appdata%. Secret Lab. And there's that config right there. If you go ahead and open it up, all you have to do is copy this. Close it. Close this where you won't need that. Paste it in here. File. Save. And it'll ask you if you want to overwrite, and you'll just click yes. After that, that should be it. You should be good to go. If you go ahead and start up your server now, let's go over to the panel. You can just copy both of these. It'll auto direct it right into where it needs to be to load up multi-admin.exe. Click enter, and this is what you should see. All right, now that it says waiting for players, we can go ahead and minimize all this. We'll launch our game. and just make sure it's up and running. Should work now. I actually forgot to pull my IP, so unless you have submitted a email validating yours, the only way you're going to be able to connect, you won't see it on the list just yet. The only way to connect currently is to do through direct IP. If you're using the default ports, you won't need to worry about adding them at the end there. And there we go. Server is up and running. And I hope that helped you. I'm pretty sure I covered mostly everything. Next time I go to install the server on a new server, I will provide a more detailed and more of a new installation. Hopefully that'll make things a little easier. But yeah, that's about it. I hope everything runs well, and if it doesn't, feel free to leave a message and I'll see if I can help you out. Thank you.